Hey guys, good morning. So I'm sitting here with my coffee and I'm ready to record. And it just feels so weird to just start recording another Sims video without talking to you guys about the silence that was on the channel again. Like, it is never my intention to have these long silences, but yet here we are again at one of those. And yeah, so I figured that this time I will just record a simple video and talk to you guys and let you in on a few things that are going on behind the scenes in my life that has impacted the time that I've had for videos, but mostly the energy that I've had for making videos, and also what that means for the channel in the future. So this is definitely going to be like a new sort of video, and if you're not interested at all in what is going on, don't listen. Just skip this video and wait for the next Sims video. I did put some footage of me messing around in my private mega hood, so if you prefer watching gameplay footage while you listen to this, you absolutely can, but you don't have to. You won't miss a thing if you don't. You can just, I don't know, do the dishes, fold some laundry, and and just spend some time listening to my ramblings about why there has been a silence on the channel again. There's no silence outside, if you can hear that. This is what I usually have to edit out. I will leave it in for now. So first and foremost, what has taken up a lot of time lately is that we have been looking for a house, me and my partner. So yeah, on the one hand, I'm really excited about it. I really want to find our home that we can love and grow old in and that fits everything that we want from a house. And yeah, on the other hand, it's a little bit daunting that we haven't found what we love yet. We have looked at a lot of houses, and some of them we could really see ourselves in, like part of the house, but not the other parts of the house. And it's just, we are in a position where I love my apartment where I live now, and my partner he already owns a home. So it's also an apartment, but a really nice one too. We are basically not in a really big rush to find something new, but we really want to find something that we both love. And yeah, so that's what we've been doing lately. Going to open houses and appointments with realtors and stuff like that. And yeah, it feels like we're like so close to finding what we want, but it's just out of our grasp, I guess. And I always get so around this time of year with the holidays and stuff, I don't know if it's the same word in English, but I just get in a mood of, I don't know, nesting, I guess. I just really want my house and my surroundings to be nice and cozy and comfy. And yeah, I would really like to do that in our new house. And I'm a little bit disappointed that this is another year that I am doing this in my old apartment. So yeah, like I said, there's really two sides to that. Because the apartment that I'm living in right now, it's really nice, and honestly, I love it. It's a great place to live. But yeah, our next step in life would really be to have that house that we can grow old in, and we're so ready for that. We are so ready for that. So yeah. And also, this is not the reason for wanting to move, but my downstairs neighbor, I think I have a new neighbor, and I don't know what's wrong with him. I am very, very hesitant to reach out and to even, talk to him or connect to him, because there's some weird stuff going on with noises, like really loud music and screaming, and sometimes it sounds like furniture is being thrown around, and but it sounds like he's in so much pain, but also he sounds like really unpredictable. So I hope he's doing okay, but I'm also really bothered about the noise. And it's not just that the music is loud, but it's the same song over and over again. So sometimes I sit down, and I usually do my recordings in the mornings. That's why I always start with good morning, because I usually record in the morning. And Yeah, so I sit down, I'm fully energized, and it actually happened a few times that I just started recording, and you can actually hear his screaming through the microphone, so you can hear it in the video. And I can't edit it out when I'm like in the middle of a scene or something that I'm talking through during gameplay. So yeah, that really bothers me because it's taking away a lot of my freedom, I guess, and the rest, the calmness, and it's really quiet around the apartment otherwise, and it's part of why I love living here so much. And this has taken away a lot of that actually over the last few months. Plus, after listening to the same song over and over again, I feel a little bit insane and I have to like calm down and I don't know, return to my own energy, I guess. So yeah, I've talked to a few people about maybe trying to reach out like anonymously to see if he needs help or something. But before we could take action and do that, it actually he calmed down and it's happened less and less. And lately, I've been hearing. This sounds so silly, but I've been hearing like more like upbeat music and less of the screaming. So it sounds like he's doing better. But yeah, this has been a thing, like a weird thing, but it has been a thing because I don't know if you can relate to that, but I do have to be in like a certain mood or energy to just sit down and enjoy the game. Otherwise, I'm just doing it out of stress, I guess, and that's not a good mood to record a video. It might be a good mood to play the game, like in my own bubble, with a headset on and like really loud music to tune his music out. But yeah, it's not a good mood to record a video in. So yeah, one of the things that has taken up a lot of my time lately is definitely looking at houses, looking for houses, looking at houses. And the second one is, of course, we went on a short vacation, which was really fun and I really enjoyed it. Right before that, I got a cold, and even though I felt all right, I kept coughing. So when you're trying to record a video of doing a voiceover, having to edit out every coughing fit is like really annoying, and I couldn't really get through a story, or you're in a certain mood and then you get a coughing fit and you have to start all over again. So that didn't really help. And other than that, I had a few other medical issues, which nothing serious, but just really more of a nuisance actually. And yeah, I'm glad that's behind me now. So physically, we're all back, and I'm actually in a better place than I have been in the last few months. But the main thing that I really struggle with is the loss of energy. And there's probably several causes for that, both with some political stuff in my work projects and just loss of energy at home. So what happens is I usually, and I think I mentioned this like a few times in my videos, I'm like all over the place. I jump from one thing to another. I'm halfway through with something and my mind switches to something else and I just jump to the other thing. And at the end of the day, I might have like 3 unfinished tasks and a lot of stuff laying around, but I do get a lot done. Like that's just how my brain works, I guess. And when the energy goes somewhere, I know that I'm going to be like completely focused on that and I get a lot of things done. So even in my work projects, I just like to focus on what is asking my attention right now. And that's not from external factors, but like from inside. Like if my mind goes to a certain subject, that is something that I need to do like right now, because I'm in the right mindset for it. So that's how I get things done, and that has always worked for me. Like for example, the Build a City challenge, like from the point where I had the first ideas about it, and every time I start talking, like a motorcycle thing drives by. Okay. So from the point where I had the first idea and I started working out the ideas for the challenge and everything, and I'm putting everything together, designing the world and making the world in SimCity 4, and then designing the ideas for the houses and the structures and everything in it. Plus, like defaulting all the things. I defaulted every single piece of clothing and all of the hairs and almost all of the hairs actually, because I don't think I did a bulk default. Did I? Yeah, I did do a bulk default and then some loose ones, some individual ones. So for my private mega hood, I did them one by one. That's a lot more work. But yeah, the Build a City Challenge, from the point where I started with the first ideas and I sat down and I just built the quarry and the edge of the forest and the settlement. That's like 2 to 3 months, I think. Well, maybe 3 to 4 months. Like almost like full-time, non-stop working on it with every single minute of free time that I had. And building the last few lots, like the quarry, the edge of the forest, and the settlement, I did that in 3 days. Like I sat down at night, I had a complete vision of what I wanted to build, and I just sat down and I just built it. And I just loved that feeling, that feeling of flow, completely forgetting about time and like so completely being immersed in a project. I love that feeling. And I don't only have that with games, I do really experience that with my work too. But it doesn't work when I start out with like zero energy in the morning. I just don't get started, and I guess that's part of it. And the reason for it is, well, one, the struggle with the routine, I guess. So having a lot of free time and working from home a lot, certainly it does have so many benefits, but it also means that once I get into that spiral of not being able to just jump into a routine and keep going, it's really more like a downward spiral. And the other thing is, like I mentioned, political stuff in my work projects. So some of you guys might know or don't know, I think I mentioned it here and there, but like 4 years ago, I started my own business, and that was a huge step in my life. I felt like I was ready for it, and it's the best choice that I've ever made. It's doing quite well, actually. So generally what I do is I get hired to help with certain improvement projects, I guess, mostly IT related. And it's so much fun to do the work. But I do tend to get like fully immersed in the company for the while that I'm working on that. And I might be working on several projects at the same time, but I don't know. I've always gotten the compliment like after a few weeks, and I see that as a huge flattering compliment, really. That they usually say something like, "I can't believe you're new. You've just been here for a few weeks, and it feels like you've always been here, and you're part of the team and everything." And I love that about my work. Like I can jump in. I get to create that feeling, and I get to be involved in a company for a short while to really improve the things that I get hired to do. And but once a project like that takes on like longer than, I don't know, 6 to 9 months to a year, really, there's really like after I'm with the company like for more than a year, things start to change. Like there's always like political stuff going on in every company. The higher you get on the, so to speak, ladder, the more you know that in management, in every management team, in every like leader, like every leadership of every company, it's just people doing the best that they know how. And they all have hidden agendas, and there's always like this feeling of when you're working on a project, there's always like sort of like a resistance, or people that have their own agendas, or just some general struggle, and some people you just don't get along with, which happens, which is okay. But once you're there for like a year, almost a year or over a year, you actually know what their hidden agendas are, and you are just too involved with everything that is happening inside that company. And that's the point where it starts to really like take my energy, I guess. So I find myself having the same conversations over and over again, trying to be positive, trying to help them. And I know that it is not going to work because you have already reached that point like a few times before, and you're just stuck with that's as far as they're going to go, because they're stuck with their own agendas or their differences between them. Like, it has nothing to do with me. I'm not part of the company. It's sometimes two people in leadership roles have like issues with each other, and you just know, like, this is as far as we're going to get, and anything else that we are going to, every minute that we're spending on this talking about it, I know it's not going to get us anywhere. And that's when it really starts to take out my energy. Like, I need to have the feeling that we're building on something, that we are working towards something, and there's resistance on the way, and there's obstacles and all of that kind of stuff. And I never walk away from like difficult conversations or taking those obstacles and seeing what you can do with it. But once I start getting the feeling like, we've done this 5 times, it's not going to change, I don't know what more to add to this, that's where I really have to draw the line. And sometimes the company still wants to hire me because things aren't finished, or they have dreams and ideas and they're hoping that I can help them with that. And yeah, it's just not always obvious when I should pull the plug or when I should not pull the plug, when I should put in more energy, more effort, because I still have a feeling that we can get somewhere, and when I should just say, okay, this is what we've done, this is the results, and these are the items that you as an organization have to work on, and after you have fixed those things, maybe we can continue with your dreams, So yeah, that is really been the case over the last summer. And so, long story short, in this situation I should have pulled the plug, and I didn't, and I went on, and it cost me so much of my energy over the last few months, and I'm just sort of exhausted. I'm so glad that it's over right now, but the way that it ended is not the way that I would have liked it to end. So yeah, that feels like a little bit like unsatisfied, or like there's still loose ends that I would like to tie up, and there's no possibility anymore because it ended. And yeah, so on the one hand, I'm like so relieved that it's behind me, and that we at least finished it on good terms. But my inner control freak is like, yeah, but I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do that, and we should have done this, and we should have done that, and it won't shut up. So yeah, that's a bit annoying, but I'll get over it, I guess. I think I'll get over it. There's a lot of new things on the way, so in time you get over that stuff. At least that's what I've learned from previous experiences. Oh, and I should also mention that the CEO who hired me to do the project, he left like after a little over a year, and I was stuck with the new CEO and the new COO, who stepped in with sort of an attitude that I didn't agree with. But yeah, I'm not going to get into any details, obviously, but it wasn't the same project that we started after they stepped in. So yeah. Long story short, like, the entire company was just working out who the alpha male was. That's the bottom line. And I don't know, looking at that from an objective point of view, or like a few steps away from it, because I'm just a hired consultant, it just always seems like sort of a circus to me. Like, you can watch it and be completely entertained or frustrated. That's just the choice that you have, I guess. And And I actually have a screensaver on my laptop that says not my circus, not my monkeys, or not my monkeys, not my circus, whatever. Just to remind me, like I tend to get too involved. I'm really dedicated to what I do, and I don't know, there's all these kinds of cliches, like I go the extra mile and stuff like that. I hate those cliches, but I do get involved, and I am very dedicated to what I do. So yeah. So I tend to take the part of the responsibility home when I don't even have any responsibility because I don't work there. So that's why I have that screensaver to just sometimes remind me of, if it feels like a circus, it probably is just a circus. If it feels like it's crazy what is going on, yeah, it might be crazy, and I might feel like the only sane person in the situation. But it's their circus, and it's not my circus, and I don't have to do anything with it. I don't have to solve it. And that helps a little bit sometimes. Yeah, but it also meant that I actually, like a few months ago, I already knew that this was going to end and we would not be able to finish what we started. So, and part of that is really also just gender related. And I'm sorry to say that out loud. I guess I still feel a bit uncomfortable about it. But it's true. I mostly work with IT companies, and it's a male-dominated world. And I just had a conversation with a female CEO of an IT company yesterday, and it was just so almost, I don't know, like a revelation. Like, we really did recognize all of our experiences in each other and in our stories, and the way that she handles it is exactly like the road that I'm trying to figure out. Like, when do you react and when you don't react? Like, pick and choose your battles. Like, stupid jokes aside, it does get to a point where you're like, just freaking listen to what I'm saying. And that is actually a thing. And for those women out there, girls out there that work in IT, I just want to say, like, you're not crazy. If you're feeling like you're not being heard, you have to work like 10 times as hard as your male colleagues, you're probably right. And if you know in your own mind that you know what you're talking about, and you have the knowledge and you have the dedication and you're doing the work, you're doing the right thing. Like, it's not you. So you can step out at any time and you can just decide, like, the struggle, it's too much. I don't feel like fighting anymore. I don't feel like doing 10 times the work and proving myself over and over and over again. But stepping out of it, you can always make that choice later on. So for a while during the summer, I really felt like, do I really still have to fight this fight? Do I really still have to prove that I know what I'm talking about? Is it still happening that when I'm giving a presentation about something that the company is hiring me, that I'm supposed to be the expert in, that when I'm talking, someone in the group asks a question and some guy that is listening to the presentation is answering them? I'm like, you're hiring me for that. Ask me the freaking question. I'm giving this who is giving the presentation here? Is it me or is it you? Like, let me answer the freaking question. And I'm generally just a modest person, I guess. I don't like to pat myself on the back or shout out loud how great it is what I did or whatever. That's just not me. And I hate to be forced to, like, openly have to say, like, I'm good at what I'm doing. Like, you should know I'm good at what I'm doing. You're not hiring me because I'm shit at what I'm doing, So yeah, there's a bit of frustration under that. And after talking to her about it yesterday, like the CEO of that company, yeah, I feel strengthened. Like, I am not crazy. I am going to just stand there because I know what I'm talking about. And if you have a problem with it, it really is your problem. And I am learning to pull the plug when I feel like it's useless. So yeah, that's a bit of a road that I've been walking the last 4 years. And 1 year after starting my company and having these assignments and projects, and I really was lucky with a really good start. So I was like, I think 9 or 10 months in, I started a YouTube channel because that's what you do, right? You start one big challenge, and when you're supposed to put all your time and effort and energy into that new baby, you're going to create another one. And yeah, so I've been dividing my attention and my energy between the two, and I love both. And the weird thing is that I know that my job, my company, that is what is earning me money, which allows me to have food and a roof over my head. But the other one, the videos, the channel, you guys, The Sims, gaming in general, but sharing it on YouTube, is giving me energy and the ability to like face everything else in my life. So yeah, I really feel like I need both and I want to continue both, but juggling all of the things is sometimes it's just quite of a challenge. And especially at the end of the year, for some reason, it's always the busiest time of the year. Like October, November, it's crazy busy. So yeah, all of that over the summer has just been really draining, and even more so because what you hear me now is when I'm like in a position where I've collected my thoughts and I can talk about them somewhat clearly. I think I've processed it and learned from it and actually kind of moved on. But right in the middle of all of that chaos and discussions and just walls that I keep walking into, smashing into, I'm just like lost and frustrated, and I kind of need time to figure out how to handle it all. And during that time, I just don't have the energy that I normally put into my videos. And I certainly don't want to put stuff out there that I don't feel good about. Like, that's not up to my standard of the sort of video that I want to make. So I then decided to at least watch some videos that I've been meaning to catch up on to, get me back into the Sims mood and enjoy other people's videos, because I really enjoy watching those too. But I didn't even manage to do that. Like, I started watching a series that I really wanted to watch, and then halfway through, I just couldn't find the time anymore. I'm so frustrated about that. Like, I really want to get into that. So yeah, I just couldn't find the time or the energy anymore, and my mind keeps wandering to other things. And the main reason for that is actually that I've just gotten 2 new assignments, so 2 new big projects to start working on. And I do have to and want to give that my full energy, time and energy again, like my full attention during the day, which means that mostly by night I will be drained, and I don't have the mindset to start doing it, to start working on the video like later in the evening, and I don't have the time to start working on it in the mornings, because my schedule has changed so much that I don't have my mornings to myself anymore, at least not all of them. So yeah. So when I'm talking about the future of the channel, there are some things that I wanted to share with you. Like, generally over the years, I've also noticed that there's sort of a pattern to my gaming. Like, when I feel happy or cozy, comfy, or also sometimes when I just want to be alone with my own thoughts, like I play The Sims. But when I want to escape or I'm in frustrating situations in general, and I just feel like built up frustration or aggression maybe, I tend to gravitate towards other, like usually more challenging games, or I don't know, games where I can just kill stuff. I love zombie games, or like any apocalypse style survival games. Shooters not so much, but I love RPGs. So yeah. And I know that once I jump into another game, I get like fully caught up by that game, so I don't want to do that, because I do want to return to The Sims. So I've been holding that off, really. But I did play a little bit of Hearthstone, and that is like a game from Blizzard. I've never played World of Warcraft, or I did play Diablo, by the way, but none of their other games. But I do love Hearthstone because it's just like a really simple and easy what started out as a simple and easy card game, and there's a lot more to it, obviously. But I hadn't played that for, I think, 8 years. I hadn't even logged into my like Battle.net account, like my Blizzard account. So a few weeks ago, I checked if it was still alive, and it was. And even my whole history of previously playing the game was still there. So yeah, I did play some Hearthstone here and there when I had the chance, and during lunch hours or at night, just a few games. And once I get completely smashed into the ground, I I log off again, because so much has changed in the game over the last 8 years, and I am just trying to catch up with all the new cards and stuff that have come out. But I have been enjoying that, and I actually didn't. For ones of you that know, like, there's a standard. Like, there's ranked games. You have the standard version and the wild version. Like, standard, I didn't get past like the gold level, but on the wild ranked games, I actually ended at diamond level 4 or 3, which is like right below legend. And even when I played the game all those years ago with a lot less players, I guess, I never reached legend. So that was kind of fun to get there. And so yeah, I have been enjoying myself, I guess, playing Hearthstone. And I am considering, just in the coming weeks, like just until I get around to creating a new schedule that works for me, and creating a schedule to work around or within the new projects that I'm doing, I might just upload a few more of these coffee rambles, and just maybe try and record my, hopefully, run to legend. Which I'm probably not going to reach, but you never know. I can try. It's fun. So I could take the month of December to just record some Hearthstone, and see where it ends up. Because I think I do have to, like, I don't want to disappear in complete silence again, like I think I did last year and probably even the year before. But I do think that it is time to just sort of admit defeat for now, and admit that I do need to take a little bit of a break to get everything back into, like I said, like a schedule that works for me, and back into a routine where I can do all of the things that I want to do, including like my social life and family and stuff. Yeah, so I will be back in the new year with Sims videos, and if I happen to be able to finish an episode, which will be episode 10 of the Ability Challenge, before the end of the year, I definitely will. And I probably really will start working on it, but I just can't promise that I will finish it before the end of the year. So in the meantime, I might make a few more coffee rambles, because I love talking to you guys, and being part of the Sims 2 community is like, it's just such a fun place to be, and I really do miss it when I don't get to be a part of it. Yeah, like in this video, I'm just talking to you guys because I felt like it. And the last time that I did that was like the very first video on this channel, when I was so excited to introduce and start playing my new custom neighborhood back then, which is like a few years ago already, which was Cherry Blossom Springs, of course. And I didn't even expect anyone to watch it. I just wanted to make it. So this will be like a much more simpler way to make simpler videos, keep you guys updated on what I'm doing, like working. I will be like defaulting some things. I will be searching for CC probably. I might build a few things, or just generally organize the neighborhoods. I have, that's another thing. I have 4 running projects right now within The Sims. I call them projects because there's always like a bigger idea behind it, and all these plans and stuff. So I I generally approach them as projects. So we've got the Cherry Blossom Springs, which I've always wanted to get back to, because that whole world is just so cozy and comfy and much simpler, and just really those feel-good vibes and the bright colors and everything. And I absolutely love that neighborhood. I've had a few questions of you guys, like, do you still play? Are you planning on returning? How is Cherry Blossom Springs? Is it still there? Yeah, it is still there. I have hardly touched it since the last episode that I made. I did log in a few times to see where we left off and the things that I wanted to do to progress to the next episode. And I actually did that like 2 or 3 months ago, and it was during the Build a City challenge, and it was just so much fun to kind of step into that color again. Like the Build a City challenge is so gray and what's the word for it? Like really run down and really run down and gray and dark and everything. And Cherry Blossom Springs is probably the exact opposite of my Build a City challenge. And then I, of course, have Simsville, which has always been my go-to place if I wanted to play The Sims, really. I've never played another neighborhood next to Simsville, like for the first 15 years of playing the game. So I had this whole idea. I have this whole idea of stories that are going to take place within Simsville, but I think I want to work on my skills of making machinimas first, and then just like use a completely different format than what I've been doing so far for those ideas, for those stories. And then there's of course the last two families that I wanted to record the family history of, which is the Margolis family and the Tucker family, in the opposite order. So the Tuckers first and then the Margolises. The first two, they were so much fun to make, but those videos really cost like the most time of any of them, really, because I went through all of the old footage and I sort of like relived their lives, and it was a whole process, like almost like therapeutic or something. It was really fun to just jump into that history, relive it, and find the right words to really describe those Sims, and also set them up for the future. Like there's always been a link between the family dynamics and what they were going to achieve or not achieve, and how their children were going to develop. And so the process of finding the right words to both describe their history, excuse me, to both describe their history and setting them up for the future, I wanted it to be right. Like, I'm only going to make this video once. I want to find the right words. And with the first two, I feel like with the first one, I think I almost got it to the point that I wanted it to. And with the Hamiltons, it was better. I think that the Hamiltons were better than the video about the Hamiltons was, at least in my point of view, was better than the one for the Dawsons. But my real favorites are the Tuckers and the Margolises. So yeah, there's a little bit more pressure or expectancies, I guess, from my point of view. So yeah, that's as far as Simsville goes, and so those will probably be further in the future. And I also feel like that is the least favorite series on the channel. Like the favorite series is by far, if I'm looking at views, is by far the Build a City challenge, and especially the rules around the challenge, which I would really like to work out and put on a Tumblr, which is another thing on my list that I would really like to just sit down and do that. So I might do that in January. I might start with that. And it has always been the idea, like if the first season for the Build a City challenge is finished, we're going to jump back into Cherry Blossom Springs and finish the second season in that world. And so I do want to switch around between my projects, and somewhere between all of those things, I somehow thought, let's start something new. And I started creating like this mega hood. So there's always been like a few, like I said, I never played or hardly ever played the like the pre-made hoods. So Pleasant View, Strange Down, and Veronaville. Veronaville is definitely not my favorite. Strange Down, I just really could never get into. But there are the other ones I was really curious about, like the River Blossom Hills, Desiderata Valley, and I found a few really cool custom hoods. So at one point I thought I'm just going to make like some sort of variation on the Uber hood. I'm not going to play with Pleasant View anymore because one, I have one version of Pleasant View, so if I want to continue playing that one, I will just load up the old game and play that version, but mostly because I'm really enjoying Annie Betts' version. So I don't really feel like I need another Pleasant View in my head. Her Pleasant View is the one that I'm sticking to, and I love following that series. And another variation on that is Big Mouth, so if they ever continue their series, I will definitely watch that. And I have no desire to create a Pleasant View of my own, but I was curious about some of the other neighborhoods, so I created the Mega Hood, I added all of these sub-hoods, and then I started watching Nervo Sims. And that is really the person that got me into wanting to play Strange Town. Like, their videos are so compelling, and it just paints a picture of Strange Town that made me really want to play the hood. So at the last moment, before I finished the first rotation, I added Strange Town to the whole lot. And so now we have like this ginormous hood called Simsville. We have the two main series on the channel for Cherry Blossom Springs and My Build Up City Challenge that we've been doing together on this channel. And there's a mega hood with also over 100 households, I think. So I might really be insane. But yeah, so to keep track of all of that, I created an Excel sheet with all of my projects. And I do think that might be something interesting to share with you guys in the next Coffee Ramble. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But that might be something that is that I would find fun to talk about. And it really did help me to keep track of all of it and to just help me switch between what I can do when, which mood I am in, and what's the next step to be doing when I'm in that mood. So I can be in a building mood, and when I have to search my projects and think like, what is the next building that I would want to build, you know, you already like lose 15 minutes, and by that time I'm probably doing something else. So it's really nice to have one clear place to organize all of the projects and organize all of the households, and just more of a high overview of knowing where they stand and what's the next step for that household. So when I actually open up that household, I can just enjoy the game and don't think too much about it, which is ultimately why I play my private mega hood, is to turn off my brain. Let creativity take over, yes, maybe, but turn off my brain. That's the whole point of it. So yeah, like I said, if you're interested in that, let me know. I will probably do record one or more of these coffee rambles in the month of December, and then we will return to the Build a City Challenge in January. And yeah, I think this was like the longest ramble that I ever recorded. So if you're still here, I hope you enjoyed listening to it, and I hope you enjoyed or appreciated hearing what is going on behind the scenes and why you have to wait so long for new videos. And yeah, my perfect future would really be to have like the perfect schedule where I can do both my work and make videos on a regular basis on a fixed routine, which I really enjoy, because I really enjoy the process of filming, writing the script, filming the video, creating the video, and then just putting it out there. Like there's a nice routine to it that I really enjoy. So that would be my perfect future. And for you, that would also mean that there's more videos to watch. So if you enjoy watching my videos, yeah, just know that that is something that I am like really working towards. And finding a house is another step on that path, because what we really want in our new house is to both have this small, it doesn't have to be big, but we both really want to have like our own office where we can do our own stuff, because we both work from home a lot. And so yeah, that would really be perfect. So yeah, if you're still watching and still listening, thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing me out. And yeah, I hope you have a good week. and I hope to see you next time. Bye!